In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 signs you're having a spiritual awakening or have had a spiritual awakening. Number 5 is the deepest reason. So stick around to the end of the video to see that one. The first one, you're having synchronicities or experiencing omens or signs, deja vu, events are lining up oddly in your life. Things that you may or may not believe in are starting to pop up in. One example of synchronicities, let's say there's a friend you've been thinking about and you're like, yeah, I need to reach out to them, I should call them. And then you run into them at the store later on that day or at the park or whatever. Or this could be something where you're like, I'm really interested in learning more about yoga and I'd really like to take that to a deeper level. And then you're out on a hike somewhere, run into a person on the trail that is becoming a yoga instructor or just became a yoga instructor and they're opening a new thing. You just vibe with them. Or you're having coffee or tea with your friends and without you saying anything, one of them is like, hey, I have this cousin is starting a yoga company, or oh yeah, they've been growing their yoga company. Those are kind of things that line up. Or this could even be omens and based on like your belief system, and so forth, of things that are signing up. They're like, hey, that's a spiritual moment there. Or experiencing deja vu. Deja vu is something that we could dive into in another video. If you want to dive more into that, let me know down in the comments below. But deja vu is something that has a lot of different meanings behind it and a lot of different theories. But if you're experiencing it, it's a sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening. Something within you is shifting. Your reality around you is shifting because your internal geometry is shifting. The second sign is typical topics and interests, activities, things that you used to do are now kind of boring, or they don't interest you as much, or you have a lack of interest. They're just not something that you really want to deal with or talk about anymore, or really participate in. And that's not necessarily like these things are now bad or that they're low vibe or anything like that. They just don't appeal to you the same way anymore. They just don't excite you. This can even be having small talk, surface level talk with people. Suddenly you're like, what, I'm just sick of surface talk. Or becoming sick of gossip and drama, which we all say we don't enjoy, we don't want to be a part of, but yet it happens out there and we find ourselves in those traps. Or maybe it's like certain activities you used to like going to, of like going to the movies or playing video games. Going out and hanging out with a certain circle of friends has become just not as exciting as it once was. It doesn't really make you excited. That's another sign that something is shifting within you, that you're going through a spiritual awakening, that something beyond your normal life is calling for you to expand. And that's what a spiritual awakening really is. I think we go through multiple spiritual awakenings in our life, and we have multiple Kundalini risings. I think as we have multiples of these that we go through, we level up consistently. And so these are consistently shifting. The next point, which is that call to expand, that call for adventure. You're feeling this desire to expand yourself beyond who you are, to expand yourself, your current belief system, or to go deeper into something. You feel like it's time to do a lot of deep personal work. Or maybe it's a call for a life shift, of like a career shift, a relationship shift, or just a shift in general. You're just like, something about my life isn't great. I just listed 2 big ones, and I'm not saying to go shift those. But I'm saying if you feel like that's coming up, it might be part of a spiritual awakening, like the friend circle or the call to shift. So if there's a call to adventure, call to expand, call to shift, call to go deep within ourselves, do some deeper work, really look at our life, we can be experiencing a spiritual awakening or have experienced a spiritual awakening. The fourth one is vivid dreams. These are when you're having like, really intense dreams. The visuals are very vivid. You can remember them very well. They might feel real. You might wake up feeling exhausted or anxiety or feel like you've been working all day. Or you might feel waking like really excited, really happy. They feel so real. These can even be where it's like you're living a different life. And you have like, you go through things and it's like you awake and you're like, oh man, like I had this friend in that dream that we were really tight with. And like we were really close. And they were just a dream. Wow, that's crazy. Part of that too is like maybe you're waking up between 2 to 4 a.m. or 2 to 5 a.m. consistently, or like 3 to 4 times a week. You're waking up between those times. And this isn't just like to go to the bathroom. It's like you wake up and you're like kind of awake for a good 20 minutes to 30 minutes, or even like maybe you're awake from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Or you're experiencing insomnia, or you are getting like 8 to 9 hours of sleep, but yet you're still tired throughout the day. That can be examples of you're shifting. Your third eye is awakening, your chakras are harmonizing, and you're going through a spiritual awakening, maybe even a Kundalini rising. The fifth and final one, which thank you for hanging out this long to hang out for the fifth one. Much appreciated of your time and energy and your trust, and I hope you're getting value out of this video. Fifth one is you begin to feel there is more to life. There is more than just your current self-experience. You begin to feel that you're more than your body, you're more than your thoughts, you're more than your personality, you're more than your feelings. That there's more than just you. You begin to feel connected to others. You begin to see how we're all connected as one, and maybe it's on the full, deep, esoteric level where you're like, we're all connected, we're all one, or if it's even on that level of like, do unto others as you want done unto you, is actually meaning like how you treat other people comes back to you and how you're treated. It really does work that way, because it's like your vibration, your ripple effect that you cause in the world, the sound and geometry you make in the world, causes people around you to react a certain way. And so when you begin to become very aware of that, and also begin to believe and feel like there's just more, I've got to figure out more, then that's it. Or you've had a grand experience. You've had a grand experience that has called you to figure it out. Or you feel this desire to ask the hard questions in life. Who am I? What do I want out of this life? Where am I taking it? Who do I want to be? In 10 years, how do I want my life to look? In 5 years, what do I want my daily doings to be? Who do I want to be? How am I showing up for people? How am I not showing up? What is serving in my life and what is not serving in my life? These are all the harder questions. So if you've begun to ask those questions, or even now as I've said them to you, they spark something within you to ask and go deeper, then you may be experiencing a spiritual awakening, or have experienced a spiritual awakening. And I personally believe, as I said, that we go through multiple spiritual awakenings. I also believe that if we were to zoom out all these individual spiritual awakenings that we go through our life, you could view the entire process as a giant spiritual awakening. For when you begin the spiritual path or the entrepreneur path, you're diving into deep personal work. So even not into entrepreneur or spiritual path, even if you're diving into deep personal work, you're diving into a level of personal progress. And those harder questions is a sign that you're having a spiritual awakening. And once you choose that path, I think your entire life is a spiritual awakening. All right, thank you for your time, your energy. Hope you're having a great day. Peace and love, my friends. And remember, you are awesome. Click here for another video if you want. Peace.